What if I told you that the most subtle way to teach our children to hate is by convincing them that people are either all good or all bad? Not by yelling, not by violence, but by oversimplifying human beings into a category that doesn't exist. As parents, we don't set out to raise intolerant kids. We want them to be kind, grounded, and thoughtful. But if we're not careful, we will pass down something else instead: unquestioned beliefs, emotional reactions, and a framework that says, agree with me or you're wrong. And that is not how you raise a critical thinker. That's how you raise an echo. Let's talk about what this looks like in real life. You hear it all the time. That person is evil. That leader is amazing. They are everything that's wrong with this country. They're the best thing that's ever happened. And all the while, our kids are listening. They're watching how we talk about someone as controversial as Donald Trump or Barack Obama or Elon Musk or Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. Insert other. They're watching how we reduce complex human beings into one-dimensional labels. And I've been guilty of this. But here's the problem with that. When you teach a child that someone is all bad, you're teaching them to dismiss any good that that person has ever done. When you teach a child that a person is all good, you're teaching them to ignore flaws, mistakes, or harm. And that's not truth. That's conditioning. And over time, that conditioning will turn into something deeper: an inability to think critically, an inability to hold tension, and an intolerance for people who see the world differently. As a Christ follower, this one matters the most to me, because the foundation of Christianity is not that some people are good and some people are bad. It's that all of us fall short, every single one of us. So if we believe that, why would we teach our children a worldview that contradicts it? Why would we present people as entirely righteous or entirely corrupt? Especially when scripture makes it clear that humanity is layered, broken, and capable of good and evil. When we remove nuance, we don't become more righteous. We become more judgmental. And that is not the goal. The goal is discernment. The goal is wisdom. The goal is raising children who can look at a situation or a person and say, there are parts of this that I agree with, and there are parts that I don't. Now, let's zoom out, because this isn't just about your household. This affects us all. A healthy democratic society depends on people who can evaluate information, listen to opposing viewpoints, engage in disagreement without dehumanizing others. That's the system that our country was built on. Not blind loyalty and not forced agreement. Debate, dialogue, and independent thought. When we raise children who can't question, who can't analyze, who can't separate fact from feeling, we are not preparing them well to contribute to that system. We are preparing them to divide it. And division thrives on one idea: if you're not with me, you're against me. That mindset doesn't build strong communities. It destroys them. So what does this look like in practice? It starts with one simple but powerful shift: separating fact from opinion out loud. Not in your head, not assumed, but clearly spoken. It sounds like this: here's what happened. Here are the verified facts. And here is how I feel about all of it. But that part is my opinion. Do you hear the difference? You're not telling your child what to think. You're showing them how to think. You're giving them tools: research, discernment, and curiosity. And then you let them wrestle. You let them ask questions. You let them challenge ideas. And you let them come to conclusions, even if their conclusions don't match yours exactly. That's not losing authority as a parent. That's building strength in your child, because one day they're going to move out of our homes. And if all they have is your voice in their head, they're not equipped. But if they know how to seek truth, now they're ready. Part of raising a thinker is teaching nuance. That means showing your kids the full picture: the good, the bad, and the uncomfortable. Because real people are complex. And yes, that applies to public figures too. You can acknowledge controversial actions and harmful statements and still recognize positive contributions. Both can exist at the same time. That doesn't mean you're compromising your values. It means you're grounded enough in truth to handle that complexity. And when your child learns that from you, they don't grow up afraid of differing perspectives. They grow up able to engage with them. At the end of the day, it comes down to one question: Are you raising a child who can think or a child who can repeat? Because there's a difference. One leads to growth, understanding, and wisdom. The other leads to rigidity, division, and intolerance. Your child doesn't need you to hand them every answer. They need you to show them how to find truth, how to weigh it, how to stand on it, even when it's uncomfortable. So, no, don't raise your child to see the world black and white. Raise them to see clearly, raise them to think. Because the goal isn't to create agreement, the goal is to create understanding. And that starts with how we choose to raise them today.